Hello, everyone, and welcome to Authentic You. I'm CJ Leapshire, the co-lead pastor of Jesus Culture Sacramento, and I'm here with
Erica Myberg. I'm Jesus Culture's operations pastor.
And I'm Deborah Giles, the co-director of Jesus Culture School of Leadership with my husband, Daniel. If you'd like to learn more, please visit jcsl.online.
And they're killing it. It's their first year at JCSL, and it's been so good. Such good feedback. But you guys, we are so excited for you to hear this conversation today. It's going to be good. It's just the three of us. So this is where things can get a little wild. So be prepared. Welcome back to Authentic You. We are still in season 1. Very exciting. Very exciting. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And we are having a blast. These guests have been such a gift to talk to. So if you haven't listened, get on, listen to the past ones. But basically, me and Erica and Deborah are just enjoying each other and mocking each other and having a great time. So
We are.
I'm CJ Leapshire, if you didn't know. I'm here with Erica Myberg.
Hello.
And Deborah Jingle Giles.
There you go.
Yep, that's her new name, Jingle
got
Giles. And we're just going to go with that. So if you would like to send a request for her name to permanently be changed, she's willing for that to happen.
Am I willing?
You are.
Okay.
You would like that, Jingle Giles.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Feels
You're
very
welcome.
Christmassy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, speaking of Christmas.
Okay.
So Erica's got to know this about me, but I have a reoccurring dream when there is any amount of stress in my life. It doesn't matter what I'm stressed about, and I can even not know I'm stressed. But once I have this dream, it's the sign that
You are
life
stressed.
I
Oh.
am not doing well, and here's the dream. It's Christmas Eve. I have no gifts.
Oh, no.
And the only place I can buy gifts is Walmart. No, not Walmart. Walgreens.
Walgreens.
Walgreens. And I am in Walgreens trying to come up with sentimental gifts for everyone in my family, including my in-laws. It's always my in-laws that I'm
no.
desperately trying to create a Walgreens gift.
With what, shampoo?
I don't Walgreens has
They've got clothes,
they've got leggings.
That's true.
socks,
They always
t-shirts.
have odd
You're right.
ins. It's always Walgreens that I am at. I put a frame mixed with some shampoo and conditioner.
Right.
It's so, and I wake up sweating and so stressed, and I'm like, all right, good to know.
Indication.
I'm
of
not
something
doing
is-
so well.
I encourage her, sometimes she would know she's stressed, and then I'm like, hey, at least you didn't have the Christmas dream.
That's true.
Which means that it's not that bad. But when the dream comes, we know, okay, we got to take care of things.
Yeah, we got to get some stuff in order when the Christmas dream comes.
It's kind of a better dream than being chased by an axe murder or something. But
Yes, that's
yeah.
true. That's true. But it's so
But
stressful.
It feels
I'm
very
sweating.
stressful.
I sweat deeply.
It's so stressful because it means everything to you
Yes.
to do Christmas well. So
That's
it
true.
truly is a nightmare.
Oh, that would be the worst ever, to show up with gifts that don't mean anything.
Oh, yeah.
Or
As
that
a
didn't
gift
have any
person,
thought.
I have
behind it.
0 on my love languages for gifts.
Yeah,
It's 0.
I am too.
So I don't, I'm like, yeah, Walgreens, totally. It's fine.
Okay, just so you know, if either one of you show up ever with a gift from Walgreens for me,
You need leggings. Who
No.
doesn't need leggings?
well, only if they're the fleece-lined leggings.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
those,
There you go.
I
make
won't
a
wear
note.
them out.
Make a note, Deborah, for the end
No,
of
you
the
know
year.
what? I have a sister who is gifts, and it has been tough because I'm very practical. So I want to ask her, what do you need? And gifts is not what you need. It's what is special to them and what means something to them. And so I've had to move from practical to something sentimental. And so all year long, I have to keep my ears open
Yes.
for something that's sentimental to them. And because it is not something that comes natural.
Okay,
So
why am
Right.
I surrounded by all? I obviously like all people like you.
We apologize.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I like you guys.
Right.
So my husband can be the same way. Give me a list, and I'm like, he's
Right.
actually a great gift giver now, but
Yeah.
it took a lot of work.
yes.
My children sent their list to CJ.
Oh.
And I refuse to go off their list most years because I don't like just buying something they tell me to buy.
Really? So you don't follow the list?
I try not to.
She tries not to,
Oh.
but
Some of her kids I don't I don't veer anymore.
Yeah.
They're too picky.
She, though, does have to tell me what to give her. We try. Hey.
Okay. My best gift you've ever given me was this year.
What was it?
What was it?
Well, I think you went with your girls and you just filled, you got what I asked for, which was a new backpack.
All right.
But
right.
she bought me chips. She got me a Christmas ornament that looked like a pumpkin spice latte. She got, those things meant way more to me than the backpack.
How good am I at this?
Because I was like, see, you know me. I felt known.
you feel
Hey,
known.
but this is the same thing, Deborah. Between us, I totally have to start listening.
Yes,
Like by
right.
October or so, I like try to listen. It's hard though.
So
is very hard.
here's my mean comment to you and all people like you.
Okay.
I love you all, but yes, life is not all about you. So yes, you need to listen to other people.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I would say here's the other thing. We are very easy to buy for because we're very practical. I will send you my Amazon list.
Yes.
And it's like tennis shoes and socks and a new bra.
So basically,
and
it's like, hey, give me your money. I don't
Exactly.
give crap about you. I just want your money to buy me things.
Wow.
well,
These are all
You said
fighting
it.
words, CJ. You are going to make me and Deborah cry.
No, I know I am odd because my in-laws want lists too. Everybody wants a list. They're like, and now that I am getting older and life is busier, I appreciate lists. So,
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thanks. You could have started with that.
well, I mean, I always like to win, so I want to
Right.
start off making sure I sound like the best. I mean, come on. You've known me a long time here. I don't lose that easy.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Come on, guys. Competition is still up there in my strengths.
Right. Well, yeah, strength, yes. Yes.
Doesn't mean it could be a weekness. Too.
That is
All right.
true.
All right.
That is
Yes.
true.
Yeah. Yes.
So the other side of the coin.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No gifts. So Banning and I's first Christmas together. We're married, and he's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, I gave him. I listed like two things. I was like, I would really love a new leather jacket, and I don't know why I would have told a new husband this, but at the time, I would love a new bra for Victoria's Secret, which actually makes me giggle so hard imagining my
Right.
husband going to Victoria's Secret and getting a bra. But I was 22. So what do I
Yes,
know? I actually
right.
needed a bra.
Yeah.
And I don't know, sounded fun. He walks in one day with a Victoria's Secret bag, puts it under the tree, and then a very clear jacket box sets it under the tree. And
Oh, you knew.
tried to have a good attitude. Let's just say I tried for a whole day of like, I'm so thankful that I have a husband who buys me gifts, who me, in the meantime, have bought gifts. They're hidden in the closet.
Yes.
I have wrapping paper. I would never let him think that he knows what he's getting because what is
Right.
that? Why do you get a gift if you're just like, why just hand me the jacket then? Like, what are you doing? So I had a good attitude for about 24 hours, and then I burst into tears and basically told him he'd ruined Christmas for me, and it was the worst day of my life. So
And what was his reasoning for did he just think
He
you
had
wouldn't
no
know what it
clue.
was?
Probably
was
no
like-
clue.
I got you what you wanted, and I put it under the Christmas
So
tree.
he'd accomplished the goal. He had figured it out.
And I was
Yeah.
like, you soulless creature who has no love for me is what just happened. So basically we fought because we were
Right,
22.
fully.
You know, so
You
we-
do fight about things
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh.
Yes.
We fought. I mean, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
It was a war.
Yes.
It was like World War II happened in our house about Christmas presents. I'm sobbing. He's like, "What's wrong with you? Emotion. All you are is one big emotion." I'm sure it was. Yeah, it went really well. So in the end result though was he to return the gifts.
Oh, so you didn't get what you wanted then?
In the end, I don't want what I want. I want you to think of me and buy me a
I
gift.
want you to surprise me.
Yes,
Right,
and I want to
right.
know you thought of me. So he bought me some new planters, but then
I feel newly stressed about Christmas and a gift for CJ. It rises up within
okay,
me.
well, let me just say I have grown since I was 22. I no
Right.
longer would throw a fit, basically lay on the ground and wail because I know my husband
just
bought
do
me
it
a
on the
bra.
inside.
No, I have grown up. I'm like, oh, that was very sweet. You actually listened to me and went and bought what I wanted. You just
Oh,
Right.
thank
Yeah,
goodness.
no, I'm
Okay.
not proud of that moment, guys. I'm not like, that was the best. Wow, you're so mature. The way you threw a fit about getting exactly what you asked for Christmas. You should do that every year.
It was not the highlight of your
No.
marriage, but
And then I got my husband to return them and buy me something else. Yeah, no, not a beautiful moment. But
it's so funny. I think it's funny that he had to return the bra at Victoria's Secret. It's like, that would be funny.
well,
that
in
you're like,
the end, he actually didn't return anything. He just bought me more stuff.
oh, that's good.
So I just got a whole
Okay.
bunch of
So
stuff.
you did get your
that's-
stuff.
yes,
but I didn't know that. So then I was
that's
see.
even better.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
See, he's not
So-
evil.
No, my fit won too.
You
know.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. So embarrassing. I look back, I'm all, huh. Yeah. Anyway, so we wanted to talk today about growing our relationship with the Lord, which we all immediately felt, if we're honest, a bit of shame. And we don't really want to talk about this because it's not easy. And it looks different for everybody. Just different seasons and different stuff going on in our life affects it. But my hope with us talking about this is to break it down, talk about the importance of it, but also what does it really look like? Like, what are things we can do to pursue connection and relationship with the Lord? Yeah, what does this actually look like in our lives?
This is the one area where you always think somebody else is doing better than you.
Absolutely.
Like there is never a time when I think, oh, I got it. I
Yeah.
got this down. Like I think from the first day that I got saved, I feel like I haven't done well. And there's always a more longer, better way, you know? So
Yes.
it's been, I feel like I've been saved since 1993. I don't even know what sums that. That's a lot of years, and it's always on the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
For good and bad reasons, I guess. I don't know if bad is the right word, but absolutely, I can say for myself, I am a very, very routine person. I'm very consistent. Yeah, routine is my friend. I love it. It makes me feel good. It makes my mind feel good. But this is the one area where I am the absolute opposite of this. And I feel like, I think in the beginning, when I was really young, I think a lot of it was, you know, you are discipled and you need to read your word and you need to hear from the Lord. And so right in the beginning, when you're still learning to hear from the Lord, and I didn't hear soon enough or quick enough or whatever, it became scary for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to avoid sitting still for long moments of time, because what if he's not going to say, or what? It's not like God doesn't speak, it's me hearing.
Right.
Can I hear it or not? And so a lot of years in my life, there has been, I don't know that shame is the right word, but maybe it's insecurity, maybe it's nervousness, just around that if somebody says I need to sit quietly for an hour, I am already completely stressed out of my mind, you know. And so for me, I could never really fall into every single day I have a quiet time like that looks like this ever because of that. And so in the beginning, it mostly meant a lot of shame for me in a lot of years, because it sounds like everybody around me, they've got this down, you know, and they are great people. And I am not.
Because they do devotions.
Right, right. Especially that word,
I know.
devotions. That
Oh, yeah.
freaks me out too, you know. And so it took me actually a very, very, very long time to get free from that God is not impressed with it or impressed with me, that thing. However, I never got away from, hey, you don't have to do it, you shouldn't do it, or it's not important. It's more like, hey, what does God think about me? So that took a long time in my life. And then from that point on, it was more about, but what does work for me? Like, how creative can I be with this time with the Lord and hearing Him? And we can talk about a little bit about how I do it now. But just to open up, like this is such a vulnerable walk, you know, and especially when you're in church and all the things. And I just like hardly ever feel oh my gosh, I do so great
Yeah.
in this, you know?
I came to know the Lord. I grew up in church, but really came to know the Lord in my teens and had a really good relationship with the Lord, you know, had time and energy to put towards it. I mean, CJ and I were talking before this, how we just had time. I could light my candles at night and get my journals and Bible out and play my worship music on my CD player and,
Yes.
and just listen to Live in the Can by Delirious and all the fun things. And just really spend time with the Lord. And then, and really had hope for the future, excitement about what God was doing, really feeling like God was moving. And then getting married and having 3 babies in 4 years and just life hitting craziness and kind of realizing like I don't have a lot of time anymore. And so just going to the urgent and necessary, which wasn't that time anymore. But then as you were talking, Erica, I felt, kind of a pit in my stomach, like in my stomach. And I thought about, there was a season in my life when my kids were young where I really put spending time with God to the side. And that habit I really walked away from. And I think it was because I had real disappointments with God. And I felt like there were things that God had really disappointed me in. And life had not turned out life had not turned out the way I wanted. And so I felt like, it's almost like when you don't want to be around someone that's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's like a family member or somebody where you're like, maybe an ex that you're like, I don't want to be around you. You're obnoxious, or I don't want to think about what could have been or whatever. And so you just kind of avoid them.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt a little bit like that with God. I still went to church. I still was involved in things, but I didn't want to spend that intimacy with him because it just felt painful.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, obviously I knew I needed to connect more with him. And as healing happened and I began to see God move again, I came back to him and really found that he was in the pain. He was in the loss. He was in the seasons of quietness and all of that. And the perfectionism, like you talk about, of it being perfect and amazing and the scheduled time and the sitting, you know, with my journal and all that. God didn't really even care about that. It was more of those small yeses. It just seeing him throughout my day was even more important.
Yeah.
That's when it was like all the performance left
Right.
and
Yeah.
the relationship really happened.
Right.
And that's when I could take a deep breath and go, oh, there you are. Like that's when you can, I can partner with you.
Yes.
And grow that.
And grow that.
Grow that relationship.
Yeah.
I know we were talking earlier before we started about just that word devotions. And when I went to Christian college, I was surrounded by all these friends, and they would talk about their parents' morning devotion time. And I was like, I don't know what that is. What is a morning devotion time? Like, wait, you woke up and your parents were reading the Bible? And like, first, like, I don't know, that was just a foreign concept. So, and I think what the enemy spoke to me then was, see, you're already behind.
Right.
You don't even know what that is. And then my attention span is about 45 seconds. So I would read the word and then I'm like thinking about whatever's happening around me. And then once again, see, you don't even know how to read the Bible well, you know? And I was raised a Christian, but that whole devotion thing, I just didn't even know what you did in devotion time.
Yeah.
Like, did the Holy Spirit come upon you?
Right.
Like, so the moment you sat down was a bright light to land on you, tell you what to read, and lead you through the questions of understanding the Bible is what I thought must happen to everybody else.
With an angel.
With an angel that guided you through your devotion time. But it never happened to me. And so therefore, I just immediately, you know, at 19 years old, was a failure and started to hide from it. But then renewal hit at Bethel, and God was radically moving in my life. And I remember I had this big walk-in closet in my apartment, and I would go in there, and the Lord would meet me in these like encounters with him in the afternoon. There was not in the morning. It was not in the devotion time. somehow God still showed up. I don't know how, but it was so powerful. I mean, I would have these visions. The Lord was speaking to me. So I went through this season where I was like, oh my gosh, I've got this amazing time with the Lord. And it was beautiful. And then I remember I got married. I tried to recreate it. Like, here's my closet that I'm going to meet the Lord in. I had worshiped, and I would go in there, and it was dead. It was like I was in a tomb. I was not in the presence of the Lord. I was actually under the ground being eaten by worms. And it was so discouraging. Like, what is going on? And so for me, that started on like, okay, well, what's going to work? I've got kids. Everybody else seems like they're growing and talking about their relationship with the Lord, and it's this amazing thing. But mine is like dead space. Like, there's nothing happening. The word feels dead. I feel dead. So I began to search, and then I remember this is when I truly did a devotion. I bought like a pre-made devotion, and every morning I would literally force myself to do the devotion before I was allowed to do anything else. And it was painful. I don't remember learning anything, but it definitely got a discipline in me of the importance of setting aside something for the Lord. You know, I don't care what I get, but I just want him to at least know I set something aside for him. I might not feel anything. I don't know if we're growing closer, but it's something. You know, it's what I have to give right now. Because I had little kids. I was trying to eat right. So most of the time as I answering questions, I was thinking about breakfast. But I remember thinking you can't eat until you answer that question. But all I was thinking about was what I was going to eat for breakfast. So, but we made it, you know, we made it through. And then, I went through the really bad anxiety where the Bible scared me for quite a few years. I could not read the Bible because it terrified me, except for Psalm 91. And the Lord met me in Psalm 91. So all that to say, like, I look back and I'm like, man, none of it was perfect. Yeah. So many insecurities, so many undisciplined, not good ways I did it. Yet he met me in all of them.
Definitely something to be said for seasons, because even with what I shared too, like when I got saved at college, and those years, you know, I almost failed out of college because we were reading the Bible so much and going to church and all the things, you know. So I was like, okay. But so I don't even remember what we read. Like, I had no plan those days, but this is where we got our foundation blocks, because we were in Bible school, and twice a week you're in church, and then Wednesday night and all the things. So those were building block years, you know, and I don't think I had a plan or anything, but getting older, like the season of kids, that feels very blurry to me. I wonder right now as we sit here, did I ever read my Bible when my kids were young? I can't remember. I'm a total compartmentalizer, so I may have blocked it all out, because right now, I don't know. Yeah. But a Bible plan has definitely, for my personality, have helped to, and I personally absolutely love the Old Testament. Like, the Old Testament is where God actually gave me a revelation of his love for me. And so I have a deep love for that. So I really enjoy starting there. And but I've totally learned to, now that I'm older, my kids are not, you know, I'm back to reading in the morning for discipline, but I still am not sitting in bed for an hour waiting. I have learned that, number one, we learn to speak to him wherever we are. Right. Like, I talk a lot in the car. I always think these days I feel okay because the people behind or in front of me may think I'm on the phone.
Yes. Right.
But I'm talking away in the car, and you learn to just grab your moments and be talking and whispering. I feel like I have these whispers all day long to the Lord. And for me now, it's learning to listen to him whispering back to me, you know, and I've learned that. But I have to say, the place where he meets with me now is in the garage. And because that's where I go to work out. And sometimes I can just get teary thinking about the moments we've had there, because I know that I will be pretty uninterrupted, and I know it is a time where it's my time. I don't know how else it's not about anybody else really. It's like I'm doing something that I love, or I'm getting ready, and he hijacks it sometimes. And many times I just go sit on the bench and just stare. And I also work out. Well, I work out on worship music. It's not everybody's jam, but there's this sometimes, like, my heart is tender, and I just go sit, and there's a whole good long cry and connection and hearing him, and then I jump into a workout. And for me, I love that he is big enough and gracious and kind enough to just meet with us wherever we are, how old, how young, because he is always ready.
Yeah.
He's always ready and there. So for me, it's about, when am I coming to him and say, and I wake up most days and I do ask him for a tender heart, because I feel like if I'm tender, then I can hear his voice anywhere, anytime during the day, not just that 1 hour when, anyway, this is a hard thing for me to do, the devotion time or whatever, but cultivating over the years, hey, will you give me an ear and a heart that is tender all through the day, so that when you choose to talk to me in the store at Starbucks, or you want to show me something, that I am sensitive enough to pick up on it and respond to it right where I'm at. And so at this stage of my life, that's where I'm at, and I've been cultivating, and it also gives me, when I do sit down for half an hour or so, I am confident that I can hear him. And that's how I've over the years just started to had to talk to myself, like the Bible says that we are his sheep, and the sheep hear the voice of the shepherd. So that is a fact. So if I ever think I can't hear him, I am wrong, and I need to incline and my ear and just learn to listen. It's something you have to cultivate. And so I was stubborn about that, and so I just love that he is so kind and that he is so close, and will just if I want to listen, he always speaks.
I think it's like you said, the looking for moments. I think we get really busy and distracted, and we have this perfectionistic, I'm going to sit and have my quiet time. And so if we don't get to it, we think we missed it for the day. And we think like, oh, it's like going to church. Like we almost think like we have to schedule for the day. And if we don't have it, and yes, as someone who now has kids in middle school and high school, I do get up early and I schedule my time and I have a reading plan and all that. But depending on what season of life I'm in, if I miss it for that day, that's okay. I'm still, there's certain things throughout my day that are touch points with God. So like you said, there are things that I do every single day that are touch points with God. From when I get up and I curl my hair, for the days that I get ready, I put on my worship music. For the days I walk my dogs, I have podcasts I listen to. There is a read through the Bible app that I get notifications on every morning that I listen to as I drink my coffee. There's things that I do to keep it always present in my mind and always alive to me. But it doesn't mean the habit or the want to do other things is not there. Like I would much rather go look at YouTube videos or Instagram reels. Like I'd much rather be prone to do that first. I have to put my phone on sleep. I have a timer on my phone where my phone doesn't even come off do not disturb until about 11 o'clock in the morning, because I cannot touch my phone. I have to go through all my other things first. And I have some things that I do because it distracts me from getting all the things done I have to get done first before then. And I think it's important. So it is creating habits. I can get into bad habits really easily about forgetting to do the things I need to do with the Lord, and to remember his voice and to be aware of his voice. And I think it's important. I remember getting up early a couple months ago. I've been in the habit more of getting up early and doing that. And I would get up early, but I would stay. I'm a bed person, like I said. I'd sit in my bed and do things. And I have a couch downstairs, and I would get up early and sit in my couch downstairs. And my son woke up, and you can kind of see from the landing of our stairs the couch. And as I was sitting there reading my Bible, and my son saw me, and I'm like, take a picture. No, just kidding. Put a post on Instagram. Hurry before I don't do it again. No. And he just said to me as he walked in, he goes, Mom, I love waking up to you sitting there reading. And I just thought, oh, I remember my parents doing that, but I didn't think it was that important. Like to him, it was an important thing. And it just encouraged me, like, it's good for me to not just stay in my room and do stuff. It's good for me it's important for them to see it. And I don't know if I fully connected those dots until he verbally said it to me. And so I think more and more our kids, it's important for them to see. I remember hearing the Bible on audio and my dad getting ready. I remember hearing that, but now I do, and I play it out loud for my kids, but it's not even just for me, it's so that they hear it playing. Yeah. Just that performance. No, I'm just kidding. No, not so it's a performance, but that they hear the disciplines of the Lord in my daily life.
I think I have probably a different, as we're sitting here listening, I'm like, oh man, I have a different experience. Like, I think it's so important that we grow our relationship with the Lord and the intimacy with the Lord. But having the tragedies that have happened in my life. So when I was 22, my brother died. And what I found was after that, you're in just a whirlwind of pain, confusion, all that stuff. But what would come to me were scriptures that I'd read or things that the Lord had said to me. And then when I went through the really bad years of anxiety, scripture verses would just flow through me that I had read over and over again. So coming through those real hard, painful times where you had nothing else but these things that would come from times of reading, from that you only could pull on what you'd had because you had nothing left to go forward. Like I could not come to him because I don't know how to describe it. Like you're just this blob sitting there trying to survive each day. And I didn't have thoughts to bring to him, or even it felt like an ability to hear him new, but I could pull on the things that had been brought before.
Wow.
So my need for discipline really comes from, like, I know the fruit of when you when the crap hits the ceiling, what you have invested in is going to come through. I do think there were years that I simply read the Bible because I knew this will show up when I need it. I need to just have this in me because, because when you'd had so many things hard happen, you were just waiting for the next thing to happen again. So it was like, you got to be prepared. Prepare. Yeah. I don't think that was the healthiest place to do it from. I'm in a better spot now, but that was definitely what I was doing. It was like I was putting stuff into the bank every day. I had to read every day because I needed to have deep deposits so that I was prepared. But so I think there's like, there's twofold, really, when I think about this. Like, we want to grow our relationship, our connection to him, be able to meet with him throughout our days, but also to know you are investing in yourself. Yes. Because I wouldn't have known. I mean, I went to a Baptist school which never talked about God really being alive with you, like we know, like communicating with you. But we memorized scripture, man. We got those ribbons for memorizing scripture. And let me tell you, when I was not doing well, those scriptures all came back. So even when you're not doing great, just to fill yourself with the word, it's amazing what it'll come back.
Yeah, I think I hear us all say in different ways to be intentional is very important. However, you figure out what works for you. I remember, words that people speak stick with us, the good ones and the bad ones sometimes. And I remember being so newly saved, and we had an associate pastor and his wife, and they were a little bit different than our lead pastor. And the associate pastor's wife shared that she does Bible study and in the morning, and then she has a cup of tea and the Bible. And then the lead pastor, who I like, is a spiritual father in my life, but then he made an offhand comment about, taking tea while you read the Bible, And I cannot tell, that's still with me today, like in a...
Do you dare to take tea with the Bible?
Is that disrespectful to
that
eat
is known
or
by
drink?
Everyone, Erica. Gosh.
But I'm like, those are little things that shape you and made the time that I thought I need to spend with the Lord just way more
Yes,
serious and not,
yes.
I can't relax because I can't do this and I can't do that. And I feel like I have taken years to walk away from just a side comment like that. And that God, I don't think He is bothered by whether I drink tea or not while I spend time in His Word.
But you do stand, right? You do stand when you read.
We stand.
Right now, I'm in bed with my glasses on.
Oh my gosh.
I
You're
can't
not supposed to have
even. I
glasses
feel
either.
like
You should be sitting on your couch so your son can take a picture of you.
I will do that tomorrow. But anyway, just like be intentional, but find your way.
Yes.
Just find it and know that God is right there, and He is not intimidated
Yeah.
by our unique little things. He's not intimidated by our fears or scared for us or concerned. He's just right there.
I mean, I think He wants all of us. He wants to meet with us.
Yeah.
And we can always know He's welcoming us to that time.
I remind myself, and this is a good one that somebody said that He loves to hear my voice.
Yes.
And I remind myself of that very, very often, that it doesn't matter what I say or what I do, He loves to hear my voice.
And I would even say, you've got to figure out what gets you there in that sense. Like, what is it? There are things that I do to get my spirit ready and my heart ready when I'm not feeling it. There's certain things that certain worship songs or certain verses that I'll just kind of tap into that really hit me at that moment where I'm like, I'll have songs on repeat for months because it's just the perfect thing that I need to awaken me.
It's like it sets you up spiritually.
Yes.
It creates the moment. And it's like you just go back to that last moment of encounter that you had. And absolutely. I'm like, I did the same thing.
Yeah. I will tell you a few things that will help for those of you who just want some tips. If you're busy and you're like, here's what do I need? Like a few things to help you. One thing I would say is, whatever gets scheduled gets done. So if you do have time to schedule, if you're like, you know what, I'm scheduling my gym, I'm scheduling my meals, I'm a schedule kind of girl, then schedule something. Like put it in your calendar or put your, I know if you've listened to Carrie's thing where she said, I can book what time I get up. Well, then it might be good for you to book a time to get up if that works for you. No pressure. You might be a night girl. You might like to spend time with God at night, whatever it looks like. But if you have time, I would definitely try to make some time in your day. Even if it's like, hey, I have a carpool every day with my kids. That's my time that I can spend time with God. When I drop them off and I'm driving home, that's the time I spend time or connect with God. One of the things you can do when you're driving is just thank God. Like just a sense of gratitude. Like, God, thank you for my kids. Thank you for my life. Thank you for what you've brought me through. Just a sense of gratitude. When it comes to Bible reading, there's so many incredible apps out there. There is an app called Read Through Bible in a Year. It's by a guy named Father Mike. He's an incredible man. And he reads through the Bible in a year and then gives information on those verses. And I've done that probably 3 or 4 years in a row now.
Wow.
It's phenomenal. And now they have an app called Hallow that's actually connected to Mark Wahlberg and different ones. That it's phenomenal, but they go through the Bible as well, which is just anything that makes you want to dive into the Word.
Yes.
Like anything, especially if you're busy. Like I said, any worship songs. I remember playing worship when I was nursing my babies. I had back then we didn't have iPhones. I had a CD thing. I would click on a CD and listen and just spend time with God when I'm nursing my babies, praying when I walked, and then listening to messages. Podcasts are I love podcasts. If you're listening to Authentic You podcast, then you are where you need to be. That's exactly it. But podcasts are if I'm not doing well, I'll pop in a sermon or a podcast about growing in God, and it just fires me up. It gets my spirit, gets me connected to God. And then one thing that I've been doing lately is getting back to journaling, because I was a great journaler, and then it was a blur with my kids, and now they're getting older. I'm back to that. I'll say this. Invest in yourself. Like if you're a woman on here, it's sometimes we think we'll spend a lot of money on our kids, but if you need, invest in a new Bible. Go get yourself a leather-bound journal. Go spend the money on those nice headphones that you're going to use every single day for the next 5 years to listen to that podcast when you walk and when you do. Like,
That's good.
spend the money on whatever you need to grow your spiritual life. Don't let you be the last thing that you spend money on. Like, it's important. This year when I said I'm going to make it a priority to get up early, I went and bought that beautiful journal that I wanted because I just wanted a fresh start. I didn't need a new journal. I've got many empty journals sitting in my on my dresser, but I'm like, I need it to be inspired to go do it. So whatever you have to do to inspire you,
That's
just
great.
make it
That's
happen.
good, Deborah.
That's
Make it
really
happen.
good, Deborah. Well, I hope this encouraged you. Make God a priority. Make time with him a priority. You're worth it. He's way worth it. And yep, we're here. We're cheering you on. Thanks for listening to Authentic You.
Hi, ladies. It's Deborah Giles here. I want to remind you about our Jesus Culture School of Leadership. If you are looking for a place to grow in your relational health, grow as a leader, grow in ministry, grow in worship, we have lots of things available for you. So go ahead and take a look online, and applications are available now.